Hello and welcome to Echoes of America. I'm your host, and today, just you and me, we're going to walk through the entire sweep of United States history. No interruptions, no dramatizations, just the story, told straight. It begins long before 1776. The land that would become the United States was home to hundreds of Native American nations for at least 15,000 years. From the mound builders of the Mississippi Valley to the Iroquois Confederacy in the Northeast, the Pueblo peoples in the Southwest, the Plains tribes, the Pacific Northwest cultures. Complex societies, trade networks, agriculture, astronomy, governance systems that in some cases influenced later American ideas. Then, in the late 15th and early 16th centuries, Europe arrived. Columbus in 1492, but the first lasting English settlement came in 1607, Jamestown, Virginia. A brutal place at first: starvation, disease, conflict with the Powhatan people. Tobacco saved the colony economically. By 1620, the Pilgrims landed at Plymouth, Massachusetts, seeking religious freedom. The Mayflower Compact was an early seed of self-government. Through the 1600s and 1700s, 13 colonies grew along the Atlantic coast. They were different: Puritan New England, commercial Middle colonies, plantation South built on enslaved African labor. By the 1750s, slavery was deeply embedded, especially in the South, where enslaved people made up a third or more of the population in some colonies. Tensions with Britain rose after the French and Indian War ended in 1763. London wanted the colonies to pay for the war: taxes on sugar, stamps, tea. No taxation without representation, the colonists shouted. Protests turned to boycotts, then violence. Boston Massacre in 1770, Boston Tea Party in 1773. In 1775, fighting broke out at Lexington and Concord. The Second Continental Congress appointed George Washington commander of the Continental Army. In July 1776, after months of debate, they adopted the Declaration of Independence, largely written by Thomas Jefferson. We hold these truths to be self-evident. Powerful words and a contradiction, because the same men who wrote "all men are created equal" owned other human beings. The Revolutionary War lasted until 1783. Valley Forge Winter, French Alliance, Yorktown Surrender. Britain recognized American independence in the Treaty of Paris. Now came the hard part: building a country. The first try, the Articles of Confederation, was too weak. No real national government, no power to tax. Shays' Rebellion in 1786 showed how fragile things were. So, in 1787, delegates met in Philadelphia. They wrote a new constitution: federal system, separation of powers, checks and balances, Bill of Rights added 2 years later. Ratification was close and bitter: Federalists versus Anti-Federalists, but it passed. Washington became the first president in 1789. He set precedents: 2 terms, neutral foreign policy, a restrained executive. Then John Adams, then the election of 1800. Jefferson defeated Adams in the first real transfer of power between parties. The Revolution of 1800, peaceful. The young nation expanded fast. 1803, Louisiana Purchase from Napoleon doubled the size overnight. Lewis and Clark mapped it. 1812, another war with Britain, ended in stalemate but boosted national pride. By the 1820s to 1830s, Jacksonian democracy. More white men voting, stronger presidency, but also forced removal of native tribes, the Trail of Tears. Thousands died. The biggest fracture was slavery. The Missouri Compromise in 2020 tried to balance free and slave states. The Compromise of 1850 delayed crisis, but Bleeding Kansas, the Dred Scott decision, John Brown's raid, everything pointed to explosion. 1860, Abraham Lincoln elected. Southern states seceded before he even took office. Fort Sumter in April 1861. Civil War began. 4 years, 620,000 to 750,000 dead.